Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LEC Spring 2025.
Looks like 113 is looking here. Really wants to try to steal away this blue buff.
This is such a game. This just feels like a smite fight, though. Maybe if he lands everything, it'll be all right, but...
Yeah, it might be just be a flip.
Seed.
I mean, we'll see.
This is a lot to bet on a flip. Oh! Manages to grab it from the side of Bukata.
Paris is here.
Knock back to the wall is there. Paris immediately going to fall. Ice from downtown. Bukata stronger in the matchup, yes, but not in a 3v1.
As BDS both lane here moving first, immediately capitalizing. I love that it's 113 that actually starts this play, because usually always the rel starting with the Q flash, and I think Bukata could have easily reacted to it. But it's actually 113 starting with the Skarner flash E, which I wasn't expecting, and it ends up being Bukata going down, but we got crazy trades on top.
Relevant. Boom!
It's a solo kill.
Blank. Genex flashing straight into his face with a long-range weapon to finish the job.
And he's bullying the Gnar. He's doing it.
That's what's supposed to happen, right? You're supposed to be able to bully him. Paris on the way out now. Bloodbath on every side of the map. Both teams, seeing that they have the isolated 2v2, decide it's time to start fighting. Kadui getting
113's here.
Down, but 113 is on the way in. Ishtal's edge. Finding the knockback flash out from Kadui. Loopy will be locked up, but no ulti quite yet. Loopy set to fall. Nice lockdown, and 113 grabbing another kill.
And after a disaster early game for BDS, 113 is everywhere.
1v1. So good for the confidence and good for the state
no
of the
flash
game,
here.
But Kadui way too far forward. Thought he was safe. I mean, he's going to take his time walking out of this one, but he should just fall. Shattering strike, fall up CC there. Overextending. They don't have the damage to immediately punish. Q going wide. And Ice, he's just too damn clean. Again, he was dead 15 seconds ago, but they just had to make sure the buttons were going to get hit. The skill shots
didn't have to reload. But it was a great sidestep by Ice there onto the Varus Q. It is going to be the Gross picked up by Bukata. But now Kadui falling there, and most likely Drake going over to the side of BDS. I mean, Loopy has a crazy cheese here.
Loopy can get things kicked off. Reeker does have ult. Q flash forward. Immediate follow-up. They're only managing to lock up one. 113 now ready to turn. Reeker doing decent damage, but will have to snap back in a second. Now taken out of the fight. Ice 4-shot going to hit the Drake, and down it goes. Reeker going back in with the Q3.
And it's Messi the grubs here and want to look to dive irrelevant, but he's about to hit Mega. I don't think they really have the damage for this.
It's a bit awkward because you kind of want to wait him out. As the Hex Flash takes him away. Bukata going in. Not aware there's a Skarner waiting. Excellently layered CC. Not even time to put anyone to sleep.
That's a disaster for SK, and it's so disjointed as Irrelevant gets a good little chunk here onto Reeker.
Closing games, the struggle for this BDS lineup. But again, I think the 113, the hero of the game thus far, falls behind a bit early because of the strength of Lilia, leverages his bot lane's push to contest, to get those early kills, and has just kept up that pace. And this is big for anyone following BDS. Hold that thought as Paris is locked up. Bukata here to follow. Paris taken down. Nice little trap there from SK to punish. But meanwhile, on the top side, the counter punch coming through is now it's Genex who's in trouble. Forced to flash back, but will get cut down. Another TP on the way up. Reeker with ulti available, and Nuke gonna start TPing out. 113. They just try to find an angle to go into the wall, but that is a fast Yone. Nice flash to the side. Nice lock up to bring him under tower. Knock back into the wall. Knock up. The kill will still come through. Maybe a tenth of a second.
Getting to zone Gnar here. It's a good cross map from SK.
Also the blade spike, definitely going to feel good. Nice bit of a trap here. Loopy going over the wall, trying to lock up Paris. Soul unbound from Reeker, good bit of damage down, but not nearly enough to get any kills. Bukata on the way in. Now a sleep might change the story, but the rage is starting to stack. That's one sleepy Gnar. Desperately wants to go Mega, but this fight is getting awkward fast as Paris has generated so much space and Irrelevant now goes Mega. I don't think this dive is there. Ice on the way in too. He's got the range. The curtains have been called. But SK are getting the hell out of dodge. Well defended by the side of BDS.
It's a great, I like the idea from SK. They want to go for the cross map.
But not able to stop Nuke from this immense side lane pressure. They're also going to concede bot lane tier 1.
Yeah, now Nuke will catch back up in gold onto this Yone, which feels pretty damn game. I also do think it gets to a point where Gnar should start winning on side and be quite fine. And when that happens, then SK lose a big win condition.
Definitely will. Nuke grabs another tower. Traded 1-for-1 in terms of towers overall, but the Herald also goes down for BDS. So again, the second BDS got that lead off that bot side play where Bukata went down, they have been so active in getting these objectives taken out.
and it's a Mountain Soul this game, and you see 5 defensive boots on the side of BDS. So if they're able to get 2 Mountain Dragons, they're going to be pretty unkillable against these lethality champions on the side of SK.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jin has Collector, but likely I imagine...
SK has been able to maintain control there, and you see Genax is opening straight to mid here, willing to drop this top wave that Nuke pushed in. Now it's going to be a mid lane contest here.
Ready for the full 5v5. Irrelevant will be later to the play.
Herald dropped by 113.
Keep your eyes on those swirl seeds. If Bukata hits multiple people, likely the time for SK to kick off a fight. Herald dropped, but it's awkward. There's no immediate follow-up, so it's just a chunk of damage. But BDS do leverage it to get priority position on the objective.
Par's getting poked out a little bit.
SK walking to this choke is definitely tough, but Irrelevant's backing off, so he's not going to threaten too much here. Now we've just conceded we want full 50-50. Now that the Mega is gone, BDS are in a bit of a tougher position. Genax coming in behind. Paris will spot him, but who is spotting who? Paris finds the initial engage. Irrelevant now on the chase in. Loopy locked up. Kadui trying to fire back. Bukata, eyes set on the objective. 2.5k health getting lower and lower. 113 too far away. That's the Drake already picking over, but Nuke scooping 2 up. Finding Kadui, looking to chase down Genax as well. Locked out comes in from Ice. Paris gonna find the CC. 113 knocks him back. Symphony of CC there from BDS, better, but right now, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, 113 doing a little threatening.
Loopy just walking forward. This tower is about to fall. Good VAR assault to start things off. Paris missing a bit on the Shattering Strike. Irrelevant off to the side. Reeker laying down a lot of damage, but not going to finish much here as Paris re-engages. Nuke setting up the tower. Nice positioning from BDS, denying any potential fallout from SK. And again, disconnected from the side of SK.
Yeah, it's Loopy really desperately trying to defend this mid lane tower, but it's a 200 HP tower. All it takes is a few auto attacks from the side of BDS.
And not fast enough to get here, so SK will need to fight if they want to stop this one or prey on some sort of miracle steal. Some sort of fumble from 113. 3k getting lower. Shock blast in. Ulti goes through, and they manage to steal it. Ruin's on him, but the flowers are still going to get taken down. Ice trying to clear as many as he can, but he only has 4 bullets. That was incredibly awkward. They do manage to find the steal. I guess I caster cursed it, but 113 still trying to force the fight. Genax with a knockback, but just brings his team deeper into the fight. A lonely swirl seed, the only sign of Bukata in this exchange. Kadui, good damage. Irrelevant, not going to get hit by the Q. SK still pushing forward. They got it. They got the auto gun out of that.
I don't know how. Reeker got a 3-4-man Yon ultimate, while also stealing the Atakan at the same time. I need a replay.
Shepherding that wave in from SK. Nuke can just keep pushing if he wants to threaten or deny some resources. Both teams 5v5, posturing, fishing for the fight. Irrelevant Meganar. Genax trying to proc it early, looking to knock him back. Blast cone there. Reeker can now follow. Full committal onto Irrelevant. They want to take this Gnar to the fight, but it does mean that they've conceded the objective. 113 immediately coming in, trying to find the follow-up. A kill traded. Loopy going for more on the engage. Kadui with the ultimate. Lockdown on the Skarner. The chain CC there, but he still manages to get down the Impale. Sleep coming through. Can they find the follow-up? Nuke going for the pushback. The team ready to go. Eyes on Ice. The Jin ready to take over, but he just doesn't have the position. SK, more kills coming out in the play.
And it's so messy, but it's BDS picking up the Drake, and I don't think SK can really get anything off of this. It could look to start the Nash, but they don't really have anybody to tank it up. And it's a big mistake from... I mean, Irrelevant is the one with plated steel caps, and the Warden's Mail, and the Sterax, while Nuke has a Merc Treads, and the Stopwatch. I mean, the Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah.
Oh, Loopy.
Pale over the wall. Loopy locked up. CC well layered as Kadui tries to fire back, but Loopy still standing tall. Curtain call coming out, but all of SK ready to follow up. Some damage coming through onto Reeker, but Reeker can just now chase, getting incredibly aggressive, unstoppable as he recalls. Loopy will finally drop. Reeker getting taken out as well. The Ignite gonna finish the job, and now Nuke on the chase. Hungry for a little bit more. Baron on the table. BDS, they can start it, but it's a tough call. Bukata does have flash. He could just look to steal. Kadui just continuing to poke. Relevant Meganar on the way.
SK needs to drop it. They weren't able to get any of the poke, and 3 versus 5 is just not good enough. And it's Loopy getting caught out, but he's actually fine. But it's Reeker that really wants to make something out of this TP, and he ends up going too deep and falling. And SK are able to pick up the mid lane tower, but it's Nash for the side of BDS.
Massive to have that Nash.
He's very isolated here.
Will that flanking ward make the difference? For now, the answer is no, but it gives SK so much more confidence to step up and poke. Nuke, though, continuing split pushing. BDS can just back away towards Nuke if they want a 5v5. Instead, play for the inhib tower. SK caught between a rock and a hard place. Again, they want the Mountain Drake, but still they're risking a 50-50 at this state while Nuke is guaranteed to break a tower. Reeker trying to find the fight, but he does not hit Ice. Crucially, Paris finding a bit of CC. Ice untouched. Objective down. 113. Better on the smite. That's the soul over the fight. The base now exposed. As Nuke's involved. And this is disaster.
It's a disaster for SK, and this was practically a 4v5. And BDS doesn't look like they can go for more, but that's the Mountain Soul for the side of BDS. And they can continue pushing. They still got the Nash, and their 5 members still up.
42 seconds left. Nuke getting value out of the Nash on the push while his team took the objective. That is the worst possible scenario for SK. They had to make a choice. Either one, they would have lost something. And in this case, they lost both.
And that's 2 inhibitors gone. Mountain Soul for the side of BDS. And you kind of have to feel as SK. It's a tough game now.
It's a tough game. And again, it started well. I like the way they use Lily at that level 1, with the Bukata overstaying a bit.
But now they can just siege up for this tier 2.
Reeker. Forced to ult out, still gets clipped a little bit there. Ulti coming in from 113, but again, you can see that he just doesn't really take damage. The Mountain Soul doing so much work.
Irrelevant also to the side here. I mean, now the problem is SK really needs to go back to base.
The base is just getting hit by supers right now.
Yeah. And SK do have decent ranged wave clear with the Jace, Lilia, and the Varus. But BDS could pressure a dive potentially. But they might also just choose to play it very safe, waiting for the Nash. I mean, that's like the ultra safe option. But I would like to see them try to play for this tower without the Nash, because I think it is possible.
And I think that, back on the subject of how do you build the Iron Man suit in the desert, aka how do you throw this game, if you let it go to Elder, I think that's a big mistake.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Relevant standing on the side with Meganar, trying to zone. Wall up goes down, knock back onto Bukata. He should just fall. Stun coming through there as well, but he buys a bit of space with the stopwatch. Nuke and Ice now ready to follow. Nice knockout coming through from Paris. Instantly, the 3-man shuffle. The Emperor has arrived. SK not going to get the chance to fight for anything. Not the Elder, not the Baron. Bukata gets one back in return. Reeker does a little bit of damage here, but it's just not enough. Minions crashing in, but BDS want to play for a few more kills. The Relevant gets another auto down. Loopy will survive. The base, however, will not. And there it is for Ice. Penta kill for the Jin. 4 bullets, 5 kills.
And BDS, they will remain in control of this game as they close it out. Even if SK had like an Aatrox, he goes Maw, he's unkillable, and can just clean up every fight. But there's no champion in this game that can really do that. Sure, Sejuani can get some magic resist.
If
but
GenX burns the Shuriken flip, this is pretty easy. Otherwise, it's tough. The Shroud.
I think Irrelevant can just start fighting GenX here and try to make him burn spells, and then 113 can wrap in from behind. As GenX probably feels a little bit safe with this ward.
Oh, he's no longer safe, however. Exhausted, Irrelevant now going in. 113 committing. Gwen immune as GenX tries to get a bit more damage down. Irrelevant trying to find the snip on a GenX. Nice Shuriken flip, but still, that's first blood for the Severing Bolt. Is Reeker going to get punished? Reeker desperate to get the wave in. But 113 is right here. They'll spot Reeker. Paris coming in as well. Nuke has to be careful not to overstay. It could be in trouble. Combo there. Easy kill pickup. Solo lanes from BDS, finding massive advantage.
it's a disaster for SK, and it's 2-0 for BDS.
Why do you keep crying? All right, the 113 creativity, but for now, in bot lane, Ice and Paris is getting a bit aggressive, and 113 continuing to find these angles. GenX isolated 1v1, pretty far behind on items. Level 6 to level 6. GenX forced to dash away. SK at the very least are going to get this Drake, and BDS not in a great position to get something else on the other side of the map, so they might just try to fight this, but they're at a man disadvantage. Can't quite see. Nuke is level 6. Can ult into the fight. Paris only level 5. It could be tough. 113 in the midst of everybody. The lock up. The CC is there. 113 set now to fall. The flash forward into his teammates. That is not what you wanted. 200 health or more taken away from every member of BDS. Right as you praise him, it all starts to fall apart.
113, what was that? He has the whale on him.
Or rather than this very volatile Ignite Exhaust, we need to fist.
Yeah. And it's clear that GenX wants to be that kind of player, wants to leverage these picks. And in game 1, to be fair, the Jace pick did pay off. They did find some early leads from it. It just didn't transition into anything more meaningful. But Irrelevant very rapidly becoming a problem as this fight breaks out. Ulti in from the Hui. Kadui free firing. 113 goes forward and will get taken down. Ulti over the wall from Ice. The Loopy's still walking away as the Drake falls for SK.
And again, it's a mistake from 113 as he really wants to contest this Drake, but his team is not in position. They're not around him. When he gets hooked, he ends up just going down, and in a desperation, BDS try to get a kill back onto Loopy, but they just don't have the damage.
What's your Twitter handle? But Nuke is recalling. Can get there pretty quickly with the Weaver's Wall.
He's going to look to TP in, I think, just on the pink ward, and they just started up.
They don't have push topside either.
I mean, Relevant can kind of 1v2 here and just keep them at bay.
Ready for the full-on 5v5. Flash is up across the board for SK, except for the Akali, who does not have one. Same
Ice
story
is a
for
bit zoned
BDS.
out.
BDS being pushed back. Loopy, decent flank, but they're just going to try and turn and burn. He doesn't even get a chance to proc the Aftershock. He's just instantly deleted. In the meantime, Irrelevant trying to 2v1 here. A single grub. All that's left. BDS already got 4. They're going to get 1 more as well. That's 5. The Gwen still standing. Irrelevant dashing back into 113. Count up is Genax. Down he goes. Ice on a killing spree. Complete and total disaster. The Weaver's Wall coming in. Rika running for his life. Bukata taken out as well. BDS demolishing the fight.
And it's clean from BDS. They immediately turn on the first target and they use the All-Star combo in combination. Let's count the Emertreds count. 1, 2. Wait, there's a Ninja Tabi.
There's a Swifties and a plated steel caps.
Plated steel caps could do it. Come on.
Oh, he's at 7. Reeker caught out. Flick comes in. That's all the gold lead. That's the only strong position on the map. Deleted. The ulti's still going. Ice now ready with the setup. Just a few seconds away from the ultimate. Kadui waiting over the wall. Lays down a rocket, but not much else. BDS pushing in bot side, getting that pick, looking to knock down this tower.
Yeah, great play from BDS here. They're able to shut down the one member of SK that is actually strong in Reeker. And now they're going to get this bot tower as well. And wow, BDS are looking pretty damn good.
Definitely are. But for SK, I mean, this is tough. Game 1 was much closer than this. Game 2 has been complete slaughter thus far. Have to hope that they can rally in this mid game, find some angle to come back. Because we were hyped, right? They beat Fnatic.
Yeah.
We wanted to know how much of this was them outplaying, how much of this was Fnatic fumbling. But if you go from such a monumental upset into a lackluster performance, people are
really
going
get to see.
And KC did beat BDS pretty handedly.
But then if KC loses to Fnatic and BDS beats SK, oh, a little wall hit from Nuke.
Then we have the circle of... The circle is coming back. I'll just leave it at that. Reeker, nice fear. Gonna poke damage down. This is a very hard 1v1 to win. He's dead. 113's on the way. Threaded volley to finish. And again, caught on a side lane.
Yeah, it's rough. Rough for the side of SK. And it's like, especially when it's your one Fed member this way and he can't even do anything. What hope do you really have? I think they really need to get a... Oh, it's a good cancel from Loopy at least. Get a bit of tempo. But I think they need some really good Sejuani engage. Ice doesn't have cleanse, so maybe Sejuani can engage on mid, and it's happening.
Hey, flash out from Ice.
Great minds think alike.
It's like you can see the future. Now they just need to do it one more time.
Yeah.
When Ice doesn't have flash, he could be more vulnerable in the coming team fight, but BDS already have mid-prio and are set at 1 point.
6 Emertreds so far. I'm just gonna say that.
You want 7 or 8, brother. We accept nothing else.
Genax is gonna get me.
Ulti coming in from 113. Setup is good. Flick is good. Follow-up kill is instantaneous. SK asleep at the wheel. Control ward covering that Raptors pit for BDS, paying dividends.
It's just unplayable for SK. You can see it. If they ever try to match numbers, all you need is a little... Oh, Nuke.
Nuke. Another flick. Reeker's going to die again. Root
does have flash.
Is flashing out, following up with an ult of his own. Uses the Severing Bolt probably for a bit of extra poke, but just gets the Seraphs.
He's going to be able to survive, but it's flash now down on Reeker, and
At least, but now it's Reeker who's going to be in trouble, and I think it might be time for the same exact play we saw mid. 113 can just ult to zone away, might not even be forced to do it.
yeah, they don't even need to ulti. Wow.
It's 19 minutes, it's a 6K gold lead.
Yeah.
Right, I just don't know what the angle is here for SK. It's so hard.
Yeah, Genax is here, but I think he's going to be forced out.
Weaver's Wall comes out. Reeker again, the target. Split fight though. BDS could lose on the bottom side of the fight. Nuke finding the initial kill onto Reeker. Paris now trying to retreat. Genax looking for a bit of follow-up, and Paris will get taken down.
Okay, a 1-for-1 for SK as they're able to actually find a 4v5 as Irrelevant was stuck pushing mid lane. But still, it's a 1-for-1 where you get enemy support
and your mid lane dies.
Cheers in the studio for SK. I think they need that momentum. I think they need that faith. It's the start of something, potentially.
And mostly it's just due to the fact that Gwen is mid lane. If Gwen was here, SK would not be able to do anything, but it's a nice little punish. But now they're going to have to give the Drake. And what you'd really want to see from the side of SK here is that they're able to pressure this top side. But
Reeker,
instead it's Reeker that's caught.
Again. One more combo.
No flash.
No flash. Nuke unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's just a mistake from Reeker, right? He face checks into, you get a little crab, but...
I mean, in a perfect game, or in a perfect level of performance, there's so few plays, is Gen-X is rooted up, chain CC there, ulti going in for the MF, Gen-X forced to retreat, Kadui just desperate to clear the wave, and the tier 2 will fall.
A little bit slow ult there by us. I think if he ults earlier, he could actually take down Gen-X, but to be honest, doesn't really matter as you're about to get this tier 2 bot and build up to an 8,000 gold lead.
I mean, how do you keep focus in this game if you're SK?
I think when you're like, in this game, he was kind of like the only Fed member. You feel like you should be able to still play like you're strong, but you're not because the map is on fire and you can't go into any bush.
Yeah, and you being strong in your 1v1 matchup stops mattering once you're out of your 1v1 matchup.
Yeah.
1-1-3 might be caught here. Kadui now following. They have to be careful not to overchase into Nuke. Nice start, but Bukata eating a lot of that damage. Not bad for the side of SK. Reeker now here could potentially look to follow up. Irrelevant off to the side, zoning away Gen-X. Reeker trying to get an angle to get a bit more damage down. Otacon leash, but it's hitting BDS a decent amount. Gen-X dashing over the wall. Nuke now dominating. That's a single kill. SK, do they want to keep going for this? They're down a man, but a lot of blinking health bars on the side of BDS. Nuke half HP, 1-3 healing up nicely, and Ice isolated on his lonesome.
Irrelevant is coming.
Relevant looking to herd them. BDS hoping to find the setup. Weaver's wall goes down. Irrelevant trying to find the angle. Paris immediately going to fall up. It's a split fight, but BDS are winning both of them. Irrelevant now on the chase. The needlework making quick work of Kadui. Bukata nowhere to go as the flick back does manage to land, and it's complete and total disaster.
And it's an ace for BDS as they play it nice and slow. They know that they're strong. Yeah, he said it best.
Yep. GG's.
Did he say easy?
I couldn't hear that.
I think he just said GG, maybe he said GG easy. That would be crazy.
Ease, but I'm not
I feel
sure.
like only noobs say easy, no?
I don't know.
I've never heard a pro player that says GG easy.
The second I got hired by Riot, I stopped all chatting. I decided it was never worth the risk ever again, and I just turned it off.
Would be funny if I said GG easy, but...
Yeah, I don't want to put words into his mouth. People can scrub back and decide for themselves what was said in that moment. BDS hasn't been easy, but it has been very clean. 7-0-8 for Nuke, 6-0-3 for Ice. Irrelevant 3-0-3, 2.2k gold lead. This Akali pick not working out at all.
They can get all inhibs here. Gen-X might be in trouble.
Falling. Irrelevant ignoring Gen-X completely to just hit the tower. Will finish it in the face of the Akali and is now finally forced to withdraw. So 200 gold back as Loopy's now going to give his life in exchange for very little. Not much else to say. Bukata starting the fight. Nuke. Paris now running. Paris gonna die. He hits the cowbell. He's withdrawing. Guys, like,
I think he said GG easy.
Yeah, just to be clear.
That's great.
So.
I think Nuke and Paris can kind of 2v5 here. Whoever face checks dies.
Bukata going in. SK. Last hope. Last fight. 8k on the Baron, getting lower. Bukata knocked up, knocked towards the pit, a little bit risky, but BDS just turning their attention now. Ulti unleashed from the MF, Irrelevant on the side. They're desperate to kill this Gwen, but he's still standing. Shield coming in from the lock of the Iron Solari. Gen-X going back in, but he's exhausted, he's a tired little ninja, and the shutdown coming out as well.
Yeah, you have to think that's going to be game here. It's going to be Gwen recalling, being able to TP back. A 4 versus 2. Kadui is going to have to make a miracle to try to hold this.
I think the kit of Corki is just not enough. You need a 4-item Aphelios if you want to turn this one back, but maybe Kadui can get it done. Paris with a quick combo, the answer is no. No, he cannot. It was short-lived. SK completely decimated. BDS can feel good about this. Huge confidence win for them. For SK, you just hope that they can adapt coming into their future series. Hope that this doesn't stymie their momentum too much from that first upset against Fnatic.
It was a very clean game from BDS. Super happy with the glow up from 1-1-3 in Paris. A nice little 2-0. And no real big throws. A little bit messier game 1, while an incredible clean game 2. And 1-1-3 showing that he can carry on tanks too, baby.
That he can. Both.